There's been a lot of talk since my last video about corruption, so I just want to be really clear. Demoting people, whether it's over job performance or political retaliation, is not our job as legislators. I stand by what I said. Councilwoman Samantha Colosimo-Testa introduced legislation to remove the assistant fire chief's job right after he dared to question fire union boss Tommy Carcone. All Jim said was, if you're going to take off 48 days a year out of your 91 scheduled shifts, at least tell us why. Of course, they're calling it a conspiracy that anyone would ever connect those dots.
And the legislation has nothing to do with my union leave as much as you try to tie them in together.
Why would I care if his union leave got denied? Why would that affect me putting in this legislation?
But do you know who agrees with me? The mayor. The guy they endorsed, and I didn't. We both know exactly how these people operate. They're just hoping the public doesn't.
I'm going to call a spade a spade. There is no doubt in my mind the legislation that got put in had everything to do with the fact that less than 48 hours this letter was received prior.
Meanwhile, Samantha and Tommy deny ever discussing the legislation, mostly because he was taking one of his 48 days off when it happened.
I was actually on association business leave the same day that she proposed the legislation.
Apparently phones aren't a thing when it comes to Samantha being able to call Tommy, but Tommy's phone worked just fine when he admitted to angrily calling the mayor that same day.
Do not call Mayor Galimi after you became aware of this letter.
I asked him if he was aware of it and if he approved it. And I wanted to know if the assistant chief was acting independently.
The rather identical sales pitch throughout this whole process has been that this job elimination is to save the taxpayers' money. If that were true, Samantha would have introduced this legislation 5 days sooner during the actual budget process when we were trying to save the city every penny possible. Now, last week, Tommy rallied the union to do a vote of no confidence in the chiefs. The same chiefs who negotiate their salaries, promotions, and working conditions. Now tell me, does a vote like that help the firefighters in any way? No, of course not. But it does help Tommy to look more powerful. He constantly divides the city into two groups, firefighters versus City Hall, as if we aren't all working for the same government. Tommy claims solidarity with Station 7, one of the busiest fire stations in the country for ambulance calls.
He's not addressing the problems that we're having at Station 7 of our guys being overworked and beat up.
What's even worse than this call volume is the fact that it's the same 20% of firefighters responding to 100% of those ambulance calls every shift they work. That's horrific. But it's also by design, because Tommy made sure vets like him never have to ride an ambulance again if they can help it. And while those younger firefighters are running themselves into the ground working at Station 7, they're the ones actually paying into their health insurance. But vets like Tommy never will. You ever notice how these two have the same exact style, by the way? One person yells, and suddenly the perception is that everyone in the conversation is combative. But it's not everyone. It's them. They're bullies. Everyone in city government knows this, and if you don't bow down, you get targeted, just as the assistant fire chief Jim Noon, or the former mayor, Rob Palmieri, or myself, or now the current administration, who, again, they once endorsed. So now, Samantha's doubling down on her revenge tour with a committee meeting on May 5th, with the help of the 4th Ward councilman, who, I shit you not, is Tommy Carcone's actual uncle. Welcome to Utica. Anyway, I just wanted to let it be known, if they want us talking about fire department issues that are not under the council's purview, then I plan on talking about all of it.